everybody.
Susie.
It's Sarah and Susie, episode 513. How's my Sarah?
Bringing you the sweet sounds of Sarah and Susie.
Oh, yeah.
In the springtime.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
Well, actually, I'm glad you asked. Because there's something that I need to complain about.
Okay.
I forgot about this one, and then it, came back to me, like, I was, like, walking around. You know when you have those moments where you're, like, walking around the house, and you're like, and another thing, out of nowhere?
Blue. Yeah.
Yeah. So, let me just vent a little bit about my experience, because I need somebody I have not talked to another human since that, isn't a client, and, I can't really vent to them about these kind of things, can I?
It's frowned upon.
So, frowned upon. I, as you know, have recently moved to this neighborhood. And as a new resident, I'm like, I would like to try some of the restaurants out. I'm also a kind of person who loves a deal. That makes me the perfect person to enjoy a Val-Pak of coupons. One of my favorite activities is to, sit and flip through the Val-Pak. Coupons that maybe, 1 out of 100 I'll actually use or have ever used.
Yeah.
But
The Val-Pak is always very concerned about my gutters. Stuff like that.
Oh my God. They're very concerned about your gutters, and they definitely want to refinish your garage floor.
Yeah.
That's
Make it nice for my Corvette.
And they have questionable plastic surgery.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Because I'm like, I'm not couponing my plastic surgery.
Yeah.
But my gutters, maybe. Anyways. So I find this perfect one for a Mexican restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant that it's been around forever. I remember going there with my mom. In fact, I remember my mom not bringing my friend Ashley home in time, in the time she was supposed to go see her mom. And then we called her from the restaurant as it was Cinco de Mayo, and we were enjoying margaritas. Not us, but mom was. And we were having tacos and, having fun on the porch or on the outside seating area, patio. And patio, not a porch, Sarah. Hello. And then my friend called her mom and is like, we're with Sally and we're having Cinco de Mayo. And her mom goes, oh, that's Sally, and isn't even mad.
I mean,
so
that's right.
And so I have happy memories of this place. It's so much fun. And so I go there armed with my coupon that says 50% off Twilight Special, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, Thursday through Sunday.
Okay.
No other things. It cannot be combined with any other coupons. No other extra,
caveats.
Some exclusions may apply. No other extra caveats. Nothing like that. I go there. I order my food. It was mediocre. It does say you have to order a drink with a drink. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I get a glass of wine, and it had that smell of the glass wasn't washed out. So I'm like, no, I'll have a Corona instead, which is fine. And so -1 already. Then I go I have the meal. The food was meh. I was kind of disappointed because this
it didn't match your memory too.
Didn't match the memory. And you know what it was is I had food regret. This is what I was trying to do. I was trying to get something fancy because I had my 50% off coupon.
Right.
So I'm I'm going to get the thing that's looks like they're special. And all over the menu it says tequila lime chicken fajitas. They're the ones that are pricier. I don't know why tequila lime chicken is pricier. I'm that sounds good. Okay, I'll get it. And so I got a tequila lime chicken salad. It was terrible. It was so greasy, and it was no bueno. But I present them at the end of the meal with my coupon.
Right.
They come out. Somebody else, she goes and takes it back. Comes back out. They tell me, we're real sorry. You can't use this coupon.
Come on.
Oh, why not? Well, if you have this coupon, you have to tell us when you first get here, and we have a special menu.
No! Wonder what the hell's on that menu.
Okay. I tried at this. I was she was like, I didn't even complain. I was like, okay, you. Okay, but I'm not going to argue with you for $8 because that's stupid. I really did say that. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and be the person who complains for $8, but you do see that this in no way says, and she goes, yeah, you're right. I know. Let me go talk to my manager. And she goes and talks to her manager. And then she's like, she'll be right out. I'm like, no, I didn't asked to see the manager.
Now-
I just
now
wanted
you're
you to be
that person.
like, this is dumb.
Yeah, like
you know?
you're unwittingly being a Karen.
Right.
Yeah.
I got sucked in. So, and I'm trying to tell him, like, this, I really don't care about this. Like, I don't even need that. But, like, can you just see it? But can you just tell me, Susie, that that's ridiculous?
Well, yeah, and I kind of felt, well, did the manager come out?
Yeah, and the manager came out, but only to defend that. And then they tried to tell me that there's a sign on the door.
Shut up.
And I said, hang on a sec. You mean to tell me that if I were to go to the door right now, there's a sign that indicates I need to give?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, but it just like, and I was like, so,
Wow.
I don't really care, but, and like, this is silly, but can you just say that, like, and then so I told the guy who was telling me, the manager, I was telling him, I'm like, this is one of those things where, like, I don't really care at all, and I'm definitely not mad at you or anybody. Like, you didn't write, and I asked him, I was like, did you write the coupon? He's like, no. And I'm like, then it's not your fault, because he kept apologizing. I'm like, I don't care about this. You do not need to say I'm sorry. But it was just like, it turned into a scene, but I didn't need it to be a scene, but I needed somebody to acknowledge that that's ridiculous.
It really is. I am on your side.
A separate menu, and I need to get. And I told him that. I said, just okay, help me out here, because like and this is what the waitress tried to tell me at the first time. She's like, do you live around here, or are you like, is this like a coupon you'll only use like once,
yeah.
because like you can come back and you can hold on to this coupon and use it again from the other. I'm like, no. To be honest, the food isn't that good. And I told her
and
that.
that's the thing. Like, if they had been really cool, you might have come back for an
I
appetizer.
might have. Now I'm definitely not
Right.
coming back. And it was on a patio, and they had a big sign that says, no dogs allowed. So already I'm like, fuck off. There were definitely dogs allowed when we were hanging out here with my mom. I remember that.
It sounds like it's under new management.
Right, definitely. So I had to have Bo on one side of a fence, which is like separated by these like metal bars that are 6.5 inches, 12 inches wide anyway. She could like practically walk through. It feels like silly that we're doing that. Really, this pretend barrier is like
they showed
that's
you.
more of a like metaphorical boundary than an actual physical one.
Dang.
And so that I just needed to vent. That was a very long
sorry.
vent sesh. So thank you for listening to me. You're like my therapist. So
I mean,
it's great.
I feel your pain, and sometimes you gotta let it out.
A separate menu.
I do want to know what's on that menu, though.
Me too. I should go back tonight, coupon in hand, and be like, "Let me see that menu."
Right. I'm here to
What
peruse.
if I did that? Oh my god, that would be funny, but only to me.
Well, there is a deal that you can get, however, that will not be a bait and switch like Sarah experienced, and that is with the good people at Brooklyn.
There you go. That's like and you're getting quality. No tequila lime chicken situation.
No, these are luxury bedding items and bathroom towels, cozy robes, comfy loungewear, and I mean the buttery soft sheets. I mean, they sell themselves. These guys. This is like skipping the middleman, getting luxury items at affordable prices. You guys know we love Brooklyn, and I love that you can kind of get things a la carte, so you can mix and match, and it's just super soft and cozy. I mean, what more do you need? Upgrade for spring. It's a good time to like refresh your house. Give yourself the comfort refresh you deserve and get it for less at Brooklinen. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code BRAINCANDY to get $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code BRAINCANDY for $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's brooklinen.com, promo code BRAINCANDY.
Yeah.
Okay, so first up, I will do a little bit of a documentary roundup, as I often do.
I love your documentary roundups.
Well, you know what? I thought on the last show that you were going to mention one of them, which was the This Is a Robbery on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch it in the end?
Here's the thing. It lost a little steam for me.
Totally.
Like, I have not seen episode 4.
Yeah, I'm mad about it because I got really into it. Like that first episode,
Yes,
I was
me
like, this
too.
is awesome.
First episode?
Yeah. They roped me in, and then I'm like, you got to watch this with me. Like, come in on the second episode, and then it was like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Oh, and second one might be most boring.
I know.
The inside job one.
So This Is a Robbery is on Netflix, and it's about the biggest art heist in history, and it's in Boston. And like, what year was that? 2000?
Oh man,
I forget what year.
2003?
Yeah, maybe like the aughts. Yeah. And what I loved about it, especially in that first episode, was the descriptions of the artwork, why they were so beautiful, the description of the museum, why it was so special. And then, like, sort of the ragtag group of security guards they had work in the joint, which, I mean, when you read about, like, what it's like to work in a museum at like, security overnight, I mean, it sucks. You don't do anything.
Oh, you think it sucks?
Well, in the sense that it would be boring and it's all night long.
That is no problem to me.
Well, just how, like, you could see how they would let their guard down.
Oh,
because nothing ever
happens. Which is hilarious because
that's their one job.
One job.
Right? Like, they were just sort of, like, used to nothing happening.
In the name.
And then, unfortunately, one day, something happened. And then, what was the amount? Like, 200 million? 200 million bucks?
Oh, yes,
worth
exactly.
of artwork was stolen. And they still haven't figured out who did it.
There were some highlights to it that I think make a fantastic documentary. I just feel like I wish they did better and they should have made it one episode.
Yeah, like just one feature-length movie.
Maybe two. Mm-hmm. But there was too much to...
But who do you think did it? That's what I want to know.
Did you watch the fourth episode?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, okay. It wasn't any good in the end either?
Oh, right. You said you didn't watch it. No, it really wasn't, because you're just sort of like, we still don't know who did it. Or, I mean, they kind of say we kind of do know.
The mob situation seems like the best.
Most likely. Mm-hmm.
Most likely.
I just wish they could get the paintings back. That's what I'm sad about.
It made me sick.
Yeah.
To think of how they took them out of the frames.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh God. Okay, so let me tell you guys. One of the things that stood out in this art heist was the way that the paintings were removed from the frames. And they spent 82 minutes in there.
Yeah. Which is insane.
That's a long time. Mm-hmm. They did usually what you do, because it's like canvas that's wrapped on this wood frame, and then the wood frame is then framed in like the ornate decorative frame on the outside.
Yeah.
And so you can take the screws or nails or anything, the thing that's holding the wooden frame of the canvas off. So, and like the canvas is like wrapped around the edges of the frame. The wood frame, the like thin wood frame. Mm-hmm. Instead of removing the whole thing, they cut the painting out of the wood frame. That would be like, so you know when you post a picture on Instagram and you can make it wide format, but then when you see it, when you're scrolling through, it's a square. Mm-hmm. It's like if somebody were to just cut that square and you lose. The reason why you posted it was so you can get like the full pic. They're cutting off a whole bunch of the actual image itself. Mm. It made me nauseous.
Yeah. It was like, painful.
And I had, like, my art is in no way, shape, or form close to this. But when I was on The Real World, one of the things that I did is I had all of us, I bought this huge canvas, and I had all of us do like a square of it and like paint in it. And I was like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. We can like auction off for charity. It'll be great.
Remember when
Ryan from my season got mad at me and took a knife to it and cut his section out that was right in the center.
Can you believe it?
And so like the idea of like a knife through canvas is like personal to me, and I was just like, I'm triggered. Right. So, and mine was like completely worthless. Like, I mean, not worthless. It was like sentimental value only. But so somebody doing that to something that you cannot, like, the only sea painting or ship painting
the only seascape that Rembrandt did.
Rembrandt ever did, and Rembrandt is an amazing painter. Mm-hmm. This isn't like the painter. This isn't like some of those modern artists where you're like, anybody could have done that. This is like oh my God, he was so talented. Mm-hmm. This ship was so beautiful. And it's just gone.
Yeah, man. We got to get that back. It's not looking good,
though. Who do you
though.
think has it?
Well, I guess it was in the fourth one. They were saying this guy had it in his storage, that particular one, the Seascape. But then I forget what happened, but they didn't get it back.
What?
So like it's out there and someone saw it, and then when they went to retrieve it, it was gone.
Wow.
So bummer. So that documentary, not too good. I'll give it 2 out of 5 stars.
Could have been good in a book if you like to read, because I thought like there were a lot of facts in there about
like their descriptions of the art was really fun to listen to. That was what I liked about it, was listening to these people that love art talk about why they love it. Yeah.
And it was like interesting I did not know. Well, first of all, I definitely think that detective or the journalist knows something.
Yeah, I think a lot of
people
do.
He got real quiet when he was talking about the mob guys, and kind of like he's not talking about something because he's can't talk about something. I was getting that feeling from him a little bit, but I did not know that in like crime. I don't know what you call it. Crime. I don't know. Situations of money being exchanged and people need to maybe like have collateral or something. I don't know what because I'm not involved in that seedy underworld. It's a good thing I don't know these terms. That they would like use art to ensure like drugs and other money.
They would leverage. Their own deals and stuff by saying, I have these very valuable paintings, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What I do recommend, though, was on HBO Max, which is the Heaven's Gate documentary series about the cult.
Oh, you love a cult.
I love a cult, but this has been out for a long time, and I kind of was like, because I felt like I already knew the story.
Right.
But it was so good because it really helps you understand why people would join a cult and like how it really could happen to anyone. Because everyone likes to make it like this wacky tobacco thing where, I would never be someone who would fall for that crap. And so I thought they did a good job of showing how this wasn't as weird as it seemed in 1997 when they did commit mass suicide.
Can you refresh my memory on which one this was?
So Heaven's Gate was kind of known as like the outer space cult.
Oh, Halley's Comet one.
Yeah, they all commit suicide in 1997. They wore matching tracksuits, matching Nikes, and they had like kind of like a genderless look where all the women had short haircuts. And they believed that they were going to be taken up into a spaceship that was flying behind the Halley's Comet, and that they were going to live with Jesus on there.
Wow. When you just say the punchline, it sounds so wacky tobacco.
Right. Like, and that's the thing. I mean,
how can somebody turn that into, oh yeah, I could see how they could join.
Well,
that's cool.
Yeah, because they showed how it had existed for 22 years, and when it began, it was, right after we landed on the moon, and people were very interested in outer space and like the mysteries of space and aliens and stuff like that. And so there was that context. And I mean, apocalyptic or millenarian cults that believe the world is going to end are very common. In fact, there's lots of Christian denominations that believe the world is going to end soon too. So, I mean, that part is not far-fetched. A lot of people think that.
Do you think that this is like, I love it. You know so much about this. It's great. I get to ask you all the questions. It's like when you have like a mysterious illness and you have a friend that's a doctor and you get to ask them everything.
Right.
So do we see more of this when there is an actual, like, okay, so like Halley's Comet, there's
yeah.
something tied to that, or like right now we have, we're like a pandemic going on.
Yeah,
Do you
times
feel
of
like
great
there's
stress definitely encourage people to maybe join groups that they would otherwise not, or be more extreme in their political views and religion as well. So it just fits into that category of like, they're scared, they don't know what's going on, they're looking for answers, and so you can find refuge in places that otherwise might seem kind of kooky.
Yeah.
But
and I wonder, do you think ones catch on or gain more traction or more attention or what followers, whatever, when it's kind of related to, is it, there are a bunch of different cults and they are a bunch of these like kind of doomsday cults, and they all have different beliefs about what's going to happen in the end. And like, right now there's one about a pandemic, one about,
Sure.
Zombies, one about like, I don't know, the spaceship's coming. And it just so happens that we're in a pandemic right now. So the pandemic one becomes popular.
Yeah.
Or is it that we happen to be in a pandemic, so they change their
that happens
narrative, or they change their everything to match what's going on.
Yeah, that
societally.
happens a lot, where they'll have a set of beliefs and then something crazy will happen in the world and then they'll shift to match what's going on.
Wow.
But like Adam, I was talking to Adam about it and he goes, well, have there ever been any cults that like were successful? And I'm like, yeah, Christianity. Like the cults are just new religious movements that most of which fail ultimately, but some of which don't, like Seventh-day Adventists or Mormonism. So anyway.
Oh, I love it.
It's so fascinating, and you really do gain compassion for these people.
Oh, man.
Because
this is like a good one for your documentary club, too.
Oh, it was.
Susie, and then you get to talk about cults and everything. They'll be in it. I love this. I'm so excited.
I mean, it's what was really shocking to me. You'll have to wait because I got to take a brief moment to say what isn't kooky, and that is getting beautiful hair from Function of Beauty.
Oh, beautiful hair, beautiful skin. What do you want? We got it.
They got it, and they got exactly what you need because you simply go on this website, you take a short but thorough quiz to give your hair everything it needs to look and feel its best. You let them know what you're looking for in your products, and then they will send you exactly what you need, customized for you. Everything is sulfate and paraben free, which we love. And you can choose your fragrance, or you can have no fragrance at all. I mean, I've been using it for a long time, and I really love it. And I love that I can adjust what I want to. Like if I'm looking for a particular solution to a problem for my hair, I can just adjust my formula and get what I need. And then it's delivered right to my door. Go to functionofbeauty.com/braincandy to take your quiz and save 20% on your first order. That applies to their full range of customized hair, skin, and body products. That's functionofbeauty.com/braincandy. Let them know you heard about it here and get 20% off your order. Functionofbeauty.com/braincandy.
Gosh, I love it so much. Oh, somebody try the hair serum. I want to know about that. Maybe
I love the hair serum.
Oh, you love
yes,
it.
It's great
out.
for
I
me.
need a new one. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to order that.
What I loved best about it was something I did not expect, which was they interviewed for this a lot of people who used to be members and had left the group for one reason or another. And so they were able to provide context and explain more. But what was bonkers is several of them still believe. Like, even though they didn't kill themselves and they left the group for reasons, they feel like they failed graduation and that they...
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Believe like that.
Yeah, they feel like failures because they didn't go the distance and actually do the thing. Isn't that crazy?
Do they think that they're the people who died are living with the...
Yes. And they don't...
I got goose. I honestly did not think I was going to have that reaction, but what that tells you about how ingrained that becomes
Absolutely.
is terrifying.
And spoiler alert, there's this one guy that's interviewed. At the very beginning, you notice he has a an unusual voice. It kind of sounds strained and like almost like maybe he has like a throat condition. Mm-hmm. But they don't ever address it until, I don't know, like the third episode or something, when he describes when he was in the group. And since they try to be genderless, they kind of like don't want you to have extreme femininity or masculinity. So it was early morning one day, and he had that thing where when you wake up, like your voice is kind of gravelly or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they were doing their services, and the leader made fun of the guy's voice and sort of like, kind of like shamed him for having too much masculinity in his voice at that time. And he said that he was so humiliated that it was the reason he ended up leaving the group. But ever since that moment, he's never been able to talk normally again.
Oh my God.
Like it's a psychological malady.
Oh, okay. Well, he needs to do some like EMDR.
Yeah.
And he needs to do some like serious like reprogramming. Yep.
Isn't
oh my
it
God.
so
That
sad?
is that's freaky.
And he's not a believer anymore, but he lost his...
But once you... This is why attachment stuff is so...
Tell me what you mean by that.
So attachment theory, like work in psychology or in therapy, is understanding the relationship between you and your primary caregiver in early childhood, between like 0 and like 3 months and 0 and like, those early childhood, even like 0 and 3 years.
Like the formative years.
Yes. And when you have a parent figure who is not able to provide you your needs, or who is manipulative or does anything to like fuck you up, basically, it has some serious lasting effects. And they call them like attachment injuries. This is like the still face experiment they do with the baby, where the mom doesn't respond and the baby freaks out. Yeah, that's like an anxious,
and then it just stays with
attachment style
in your DNA.
Yeah. Like, like anxious avoidant, but yeah, and like what babies do to respond to that. Some of them like cling to people, like cling to strangers. Other ones become really weary of strangers. So like the ones who cling to strangers are like your people pleasers who grow up and like, I'll do anything, just love me, and like sacrifice themselves. And
wow, it's just.
So this is basically attachment injuries that have been created because they've been like brought to that place where this person is their primary caregiver and like the end all be all in their life, that it's like reprogrammed them and given them attachment injuries in adulthood. That's fucked up.
It's powerful. And those examples in the series really show you how deep this goes. And it feels very different from like the Jonestown suicides, because many of those, in fact, most of those were done under duress, and like some of them were forced to kill themselves and their children. So it was different. This was, they were psyched.
Voluntary.
Yeah, like they were so excited. They made all these videos.
Oh my God, that makes me so scared.
Yeah, because they were very technologically savvy. They still have a website that's maintained by their former members. And they made all these videos so you can see what they were feeling and thinking at the time. And they were just real excited to go graduate and go on the spaceship.
Oh.
I know. To me, it's a good reminder, though, of the ways that the brain can be manipulated and distorted by outside influences. So you really have to just kind of be aware of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and it's, it's so important to recognize like that thoughts are just that. They're just thoughts. Mm-hmm. They're not real things. And we have to be the ones who decide what is real based on our morals and our values. And no, my God.
I was talking to my mom.
So twisted as soon as you say those things, because I'm like, well, where are those from? Well, it's outside influence all the time.
Yeah.
How do you learn what your morals and values are? Watch the people around you. Mm-hmm. What? Oh my gosh.
My mom found a new church, and she was complaining about how for worship, they keep the lights really low and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I don't know why they do that. I just can't stand it. And I'm like, yeah, if only you knew someone who studied the marketing of evangelical churches to ask. And she's like, oh, well, why do they do that? And I'm like, because, like, think about when you're at a concert. Let's say you're at a really fun concert, like the Beyonce concert or something. Mm-hmm. And the lights are turned down, right? That's what they do at concerts. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the show's over. And then they turn all the lights on, how jarring that is and how you hate it because it snaps you out of what is essentially a trance, you know, like a happy, joyful one and not risky or anything. But, like, that's what churches are doing with every single element of worship, sermon, the building, the architecture. It's all by design.
What? Susie, yes. This is, oh, my God, I'm, like, connecting pieces. My mom used to always lecture us on, and like lecture in the best way, she was like an art history, major, and she was a tour guide, and she would talk to us about the way that churches were designed to like make you feel small and all of this stuff, and like it's in the art, and it's the same thing. Well, I didn't even think about that now.
It's meant to create unity. It's meant to manipulate you emotionally. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. That can be a beautiful experience, but it's not on accident is what I'm saying. It's on purpose. Right. So it's just a fun thing to learn about. But I think cults can be a great way for people to sort of understand it in an extreme way so then they can see it in a simpler way when they go about their daily life. But
when do they turn the lights on when they're collecting money?
So typically they keep the lights pretty low throughout, but some churches will turn the lights a little higher for like those sorts of things, like money collection and then the sermon, where you need to be a little more alert. But
because I was thinking like looking at your neighbor and being able to know what your neighbor gives.
That's like pressure to
we'd like drive up. I was like, would they do that? You know, I want to like you want to eat with the lights off because like then nobody can see your shame. But then like donate with the lights on so everybody can see what you're donating.
Well, I mean that's a huge. The pressure to tithe is huge, and that's why like when they were doing these online services and they would encourage people to still tithe, all of their amounts are much lower because there's no one to see you doing it. Okay, one thing you should do every day, though, is take your vitamins. And if you're going to be doing that, you got to take ritual vitamins.
Yes.
Because, number one, they're time release, sensitive on your stomach. They smell and taste good. And now they have essential postnatal for new moms, so they get the nutrients you need for that special time. I feel like they're doing such a good job of meeting all of your needs, like in various stages of life, whether you're prenatal, postnatal, or just a regular old person or a kid. They have what you need. I just started taking their protein.
Oh, what do you think? Oh my gosh! Well, it's the best, and you know why I love it? Because it's a vegan formula, and sometimes when I have other kinds of protein, it makes me break out.
Ah, right. So they have like no artificial colors or preservatives. So
nothing.
It's a clean formula. A mother doesn't always put her needs first, but Ritual does. That's why they're offering our listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/braincandy to start Essential Postnatal today.
Yes.
Okay.
And some protein, which is good during that time too.
Then a Brainiac recommended The Orange Years on Hulu, which is a documentary about Nickelodeon.
Oh, cool. I would love that.
You would love
Except Amanda Bynes.
Oh, my God. Your nemesis, Amanda. You know, I don't think this will surprise you, but she was not featured or mentioned in the entire documentary.
I drive by the liquor store where she had her breakdown every day. Oh. It's right by my house. And so I think about her often.
I didn't know she had a breakdown at a liquor store.
Oh, yeah. She, like, went in there with her dog and was doing a whole bunch of weird stuff.
Oh, my God.
I shouldn't talk.
It's okay.
It is only in fun, and I can't even say that now because there is a mental health struggle going on. Yeah. And I really understand and feel for her. So that is a joke we're going to put.
Yeah, we'll put that to bed because we used to joke about it because Sarah and Amanda went to, like, the same elementary school, and they had this joke rivalry about how Amanda always got the glory and Sarah was jealous.
Yeah, she like beat me in a reading like a
performance.
She read how
Spoken word.
if you give a mouse a cookie and she won.
Well, she's so talented and hilarious.
Yes.
But yeah, she has since struggled with mental health issues, and now they did not include her in the documentary. But I know you will love it because they show all like those. You know, you love all those Rugrats and
love them.
That whole era of cartoons.
God, Rugrats is such a genius show, and so before its time and underappreciated.
Mm-hmm. And
we got like major feminist characters in there.
Well, and
we've got men who are defying male stereotypes.
They
single
describe
dads.
how like they decided to make them ugly for a reason. Like they tell you how all these shows came to be and why they are the way they are. And that was just fun. And it'll delight you to know how many of the people behind the scenes were brilliant, amazing women. And that made me happy too.
I love hearing that.
Yeah.
You know, it is nice because so many of the women do the voices, especially of male characters, like when they're little kids and stuff. Mm-hmm. They don't get a lot of credit.
Yeah. You got to watch it.
It's like the woman who did Bart's voice, and that's it.
Oh, yeah. Right. Right.
There's another one who does the Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron, and she is so talented. I don't know what her name is, but dang, is she good.
Well, I think that you got to watch this because...
I definitely will. That can use some nostalgia.
And I'm more of like the earlier era, like Double Dare, and You Can't Do That on Television, like more of the live action shows.
You Can't Do That on Television was super cool.
I mean, it was...
Is that the one where they would open the locker and they get slimed?
Yeah.
That was the original slime TV show. God, people forget about that one.
Mm-hmm. And how Alanis
Susie.
Morissette was on there.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. It was a real like trip down memory lane.
Canadian treasure.
Everyone loves a little nostalgia. All right, let's move on. Did you know when you were in elementary school, were you forced in gym class to learn how to square dance?
Absolutely. A heel and toe and a heel and toe and a slide, slide, slide. And a heel and toe and a heel and toe and a slide, slide, slide. And clap once, clap right.
Wow.
Clap left, clap right, clap both, clap knees. I don't remember the rest of the words.
Heck, you really...
Clap right, clap left, clap both, clap knees. We all join hands and something, something, sing this song for me. I can't remember, but something like that.
I feel like you were the star student because you've been fully indoctrinated.
Absolutely. I got my practice at camp when we actually had somebody come and do square dancing, and please. I was like, hello, this is like my favorite thing. I love dancing in unison. Nobody loves any of those cha-cha slide. That is my jam. I love it.
Well, I got some bad news for you.
Uh-oh. This is terrible. Oh, no. Don't tell me this is gone. They've taken away square dancing and buffets? What's next? Is nothing sacred?
Well, the reason that we all had to learn square dancing is because Henry Ford was a bigot. That's the short version.
Is it racist?
Yeah.
Or is it like...
Yeah. It was Henry Ford who, famously invented the assembly line. He was a famous anti-Semite. I mean, he was even mentioned in Hitler's Mein Kampf and as like an inspiration.
Oh.
Okay, and he hated jazz because he thought Jewish people made it, which, is hilarious because it was black people.
If he only knew.
And he thought they made it to take over the world to control black people who he didn't think black people were evil, but he thought they were stupid and that Jewish people were evil and they were trying to control black people.
God, get rid of...
So he wanted to make sure that jazz was like poo-pooed. And so in order to do that, he poured all this money into getting square dancing and country music into America's schools. And
well, now I'm mad about it.
I just cannot believe that after all of those years, we are still doing this anyway. Nobody wants to learn that except Sarah.
Except me. But you know what? No, here's the thing. I'll take the cha-cha slide over that any day. And what's the other one that I love so much? The Cupid Shuffle. Oh, my God. So much fun.
Okay.
I love any
You just love
unison dance song.
choreography. Okay.
I love it. It's amazing that I didn't get on TikTok.
Yeah, it's not too late,
It's so
though.
up my alley. Like, it's what I'm doing as I'm driving in the car and in the mirror. Before, like, I was doing those. Please.
I really think it's not too late for your TikTok debut.
I know. Yeah.
Just think about it.
Really. Yeah. Think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, another thing with like square dancing,
Yeah.
you know what it makes me think? And I was thinking this about country music the other day. You know those stupid things that are like, tell me your without telling me your.
Wow, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so annoyed with those things.
I
for
don't
real.
know. Why do you hate him so much?
Because it's like, do we need to see enough? Tell me you're rich without telling me you're rich.
Right,
Tell me
okay.
you have a good boyfriend without telling me you have a good
So
boyfriend.
it's like virtue signaling or...
It's so dumb.
Okay.
I only like it when it's like, tell me, what would I like? No, I'm over all of them. Because
Like,
it
tell
only
me you were in the
encourages
challenge without telling me you were in the challenge, and then it's just someone passed out in their own vomit.
Okay, I'm into that. That's funny. And maybe I was just, okay. No, I'm not going to I'm being too harsh on these things. I'm over it. We're over this whole thing. Like, let's
love
go back
it.
to the Panama, like the boat getting stuck memes, because those were funny. Or whatever that canal was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But I was thinking the other day, I was like, tell me you're racist without telling me you're racist. And instantly in my head, I thought of country music and square dancing. And don't at me. I know
Yeah,
that
not
people
all.
listen to that. I know that they're definitely like, but golly,
I mean, there's a pretty big overlap there.
come on. It's like I hear country music and I'm like,
I know. That's why God bless the Dixie Chicks for holding
right.
up their end of the deal for the rest of us.
and what is his
Because
name?
I love
Lil
country
Nas X.
music. Yeah. Let's take a minute to talk about how much we love Stamps.com.
Oh, love it.
Loving it.
In fact, I think you have some stuff coming.
I got it. There you
it.
go. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, Sarah sent me a package using Stamps.com, and the reason she
So
did
easy.
it is because it's so easy, and you can save money. You can ship anything you want from your printer 24/7, any letter package or class of mail, and it'll go anywhere you want it to send. And then you just put it in your mailbox, and there you go. And like I said, it saves you time and money. And now they do USPS and UPS as well. And
The
they'll tell
best.
you like which is more affordable.
You know how many times I've driven to both places in the
Right.
past where I've been like, I got to price this out.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I'm like, they done. I don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah, man.
And that's like one of my favorite things.
Stop wasting time going to the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. And with our promo code BRAINCANDY, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale, no long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in BRAINCANDY. That's Stamps.com, promo code BRAINCANDY.
Yes.
Yeah, square dancing and country music have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But, okay, now we know.
Did like that. I loved. And I have a perfect picture of me square dancing to put up.
You are kidding
Can we
me.
talk about when I.
Who was
when
taking your picture doing this?
Probably my friend Audrey. Shout out to Audrey. She's a photographer at camp.
Oh, it was a camp. Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be like me dancing with like a 6-year-old.
That's adorable.
But guess who looks more enthusiastic?
Oh, I have no doubt.
Come on. But I always argue that we have to be over enthusiastic so that they're like a little enthusiastic.
Yeah, you're right.
You
Yeah,
know,
because it's
It's a
contagious.
perfect place for me.
I read this great article in the New York Times about this guy who shipped himself. This was in like the 1960s. This is a great segue from the Stamps.com ad. He shipped himself in a crate from Sydney to London.
What?
Okay. I couldn't believe this. So he was working some job in Australia where he was like working for the government. And for some reason, like if he quit the job, it kind of was like, you know how in the military, like you void stuff. So like he would void his ticket there. He would have to give them the money back and pay for his flight home. And like he couldn't afford it. It was cost prohibitive. So he felt like he had no choice. This was not for like, attention or anything like that. This was because he thought this was his only option. And it was...
how long?
How big was the crate?
No. How long did it take? How long did it take to get there?
Well, it was supposed to take 3 days, but there was a problem.
Oh, no.
So the crate was 36 inches by 30 inches by 38 inches. Not big at all.
Oh, my God. That's so how
small.
tiny of a man is this?
Not tiny. He had his knees pressed to his chest.
36. I guess that's 3 feet.
3 feet. It's basically...
That is... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. My back hurts thinking about that.
Yeah. He said the pain started 2 hours in.
No!
Yeah.
This is a night. This is Susie. This is very close to Buried Alive.
Totally, you're so right.
Are you freaking out or what? I think I'm freaking out because I can feel your freak out.
Well, and the more I learned, I was like, well, what? Who would do this? And
I'm
think it was going
terrified
to
for
end
him.
well.
Oh my God! Just like the sheer panic. 2 hours in. Oh.
Okay, so his knees are pressed to his chest. He has a suitcase in there, and then he has some pillows under his bottom, and then his friends, these two guys helped him, and they decided they were going to pretend like it was some sort of like fancy technological equipment, so that they wrote this end up and put fragile, so that then it would be facing the right way.
It sounds like what they would do in like. Oh, did the box say Acme on the side of it too?
Right. What if they wrote, "This is not a person"? Right. Nothing to see here. Okay, so...
Oh my God. Why is that so funny to me? Oh God, it's really tickling my funny bone. I don't know why.
Here's what he packed.
Highs and lows, this story.
I don't understand how he thought this was what he should pack. He packed a hammer so that he could get his way out, hammer his way out. But the other things were a liter of water, a liter,
That's not a lot.
a flashlight, a book of Beatles songs, and
A book of Beatles songs?
That's what it said. A book of Beatles songs. Like I guess
to read about?
maybe he wanted the lyrics. He wanted to make sure he was singing them right or something. And then an empty bottle for when he had to go. And
that was one of my questions, but
yeah. But you probably don't have
bet
to
he
go
didn't
very
eat
much if you
before.
only have a liter of water for a 3-day trip.
yeah, but you can do that. That's like a liter of what you can survive on that.
Oh, wow.
It's not choice,
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
not pleasant, but neither is crouching or scrunching up in the corner for
But
that many days. Oh my God, I just heard an adorable cat meow.
Where'd she go? Okay, so then they got rerouted. It was supposed to be Sydney to London, but then it got rerouted to LAX. And he was hanging out there and nobody opened it or got him on the next plane. And he was, after 3 days or whatever, he was too weak to even use the hammer to get out.
God.
So he couldn't figure out how to get out.
Well, and I've watched enough episodes of Alone to know that if you don't have enough calories for a while, your brain starts making weird decisions.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh, Susie, this is your nightmare.
Well, and this goes to show, this end up is not effective because there was 23 hours when he was upside down. So that sounds unpleasant. And
oh my God!
the only way he was even saved was because he accidentally turned the flashlight on, and somebody in the warehouse noticed that there was light coming from this box. And
Why
they
wouldn't
looked
he break out see, this is what, if I were doing that, I would bust out as soon as they closed the cabin door.
Yeah.
Then you just chill.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the place you landed in,
be
you
like,
say something
"Whoopsie."
like, "I was kidnapped," and I was you do
Right, yeah, good idea.
You beg for forgiveness upon arrival.
Yeah. Or you
Come on.
pretend like you have amnesia or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Come on.
anyway.
This was a very ill thought out plan.
Yeah, and they don't even know how he survived because, when it's a cargo ship, it's not meant for humans to even be able to. So the temperature goes up and down like crazy. But he survived and had no permanent injuries. And the only reason it was even in the New York Times is that he was looking for the 2 guys that helped get him in the crate.
Oh, my God.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm actually surprised it doesn't happen more often. But they say now that they have these scanners that can tell if there's a human body inside.
Yeah. Couldn't tell when I shipped Susie some gummies. Woo!
Yes, suckers.
That's right. They made it there.
We didn't even need a hammer.
Yes. I was very excited about that.
So that's that. I'll end with this small thing, which is that apparently a study was done to help prevent like predators from killing cows for some reason. I guess this is a problem.
Oh, predators. In my mind,
Yeah.
I went to like guys stalking us on the street.
Oh, well, yeah. Maybe we could do what they did with the cows, which is they
like animal predators.
They
Got
figured out that if they paint eyeballs on the cows' butts,
Yep.
then
On the butts.
yeah,
huh?
the butts. So because
they attack
come
from behind.
Yeah.
Where was I? I was hiking, and I came across a guy who had a beanie on, and the back of his beanie had 2 googly eyes glued to it. And he
Did
said,
you think like
"This
that's
is
my soulmate? Because that's the kind of guy like.
I did kind of a little.
Yeah, you love that.
I think this was like fresh off the breakup, and I like didn't want to.
Yeah, you had blinders.
There
on.
was a reason why I didn't like, but I definitely thought like, oh my God, yeah, that's really
That's
cool,
hilarious.
Yeah, but and it worked. And he said it was because there are mountain lion attacks and like in the area.
He
Yeah,
wasn't doing
God.
it to be silly?
No, doing it because that's how they attack you, and you put that behind you, and then no problem.
Okay, well.
Where did I see this? Who did this? This was like in my neighborhood too.
Wow. Well, maybe you'll see him again, or he'll see you with all of his eyes. Well, I
Really
mean,
funny.
maybe
But
we
yeah,
should.
I love that. That is so cool about the cows.
Maybe if we put eyeballs on our buttholes, we would avoid predators. If only. That sounds nice. I mean, who's to say?
Susie,
Who's to
just
say?
butthole confidence. You really want to get it out there, don't you?
Well, I did become very acquainted with my butthole recently, so I guess
Yeah,
so.
so now you're like, it's just like no biggie, no big whoop. Just
Yeah.
like,
Well, because
this is
remember
how I
that.
imagine women who wax, professional waxers are.
Well, remember that book for kids? I think it's called Everybody Poops. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
So, I
Oh,
mean,
have I ever heard of it?
that's what I'm trying to do for butthole confidence. Like, hey,
Yeah.
everybody's got a butthole. What's the big deal?
Yes, I love it. No big whoop. You got one, I got one.
Let's wind it down.
Let's. Oh, we talked about buttholes.
We talked about Sarah's coupon fury at the
Oh my
Mexican
gosh!
cantina.
Yes, thank you for listening to me as I vent about that.
I'm proud of you, though, for not punching down and, like, calling them out by name.
Oh yeah, no, I mean because maybe I want to go there.
Yeah.
I haven't tried their margaritas. They
Yeah,
might be
right.
good. Yeah. You told me why I have to like not like square dancing anymore.
Absolutely. Well, especially there's really nothing wrong with square dancing, but to choose,
Recognize its origins in schools.
yeah, and like for a school to choose one type of dance or music as legitimate folk music, but then not include maybe African dance or indigenous dance,
Yes.
like at least be representative of a variety of folk dancing.
Excellent point, Suze.
Yeah. So that's what I don't like about it, just that it's this
Agreed.
one-dimensional thing. And then I recommend Heaven's Gate on HBO Max if you have it. And then This Is a Robbery. I wouldn't waste your time.
Don't. It's 4 hours. You can't get that back.
Yeah, that's the thing. You
4
got to
hours
pick and
plus.
choose.
Yeah.
But the Nickelodeon one, very fun and
Okay.
good.
Well, I'll add that
stories.
to the list.
Even
Okay.
you know how I had that feud with Mark Summers.
Right. Oh my God. We need to revisit that.
We had a Twitter feud when I had my old podcast, The Meisterpiece, because I interviewed Mark Summers, and he was really nice and everything. But then when I was trying to get, I don't know, I think it was Bobby Flay to come on The Meisterpiece, I was on Twitter tweeting at him, and I'm like, Mark did it, because Mark's on the Food Network, and I was like, Mark did it. He'll tell you it was fun. And he was like, please don't speak for me or something like that.
Oh, God.
He took it real seriously, which I kind of get now, because I would never do that now. So I'm like, yeah, that was a little gauche. But I was truly just being playful.
Gauche is such a fancy word.
Okay, well, tacky.
Only like nobody uses that word if they don't know a thing or two. You probably have
true.
letters after your name.
Right. I should have said tacky, because it was.
No,
tacky.
say gauche. I love it.
But
I always
even
forget
with
to
the
say
Feud,
it. It's kind of like the word grappling. Mm-hmm. Like one week I was listening to NPR, and I swear to God, I heard that word said like 40 times.
They do have certain words they use a lot.
Like, okay. And then I remember that week. I remember exactly where I was. I was like just started junior college, and I was like, I got to look that word up.
Aww.
And then I worked it into a sentence that week. And then and then it was really funny because Kenny Santucci won a grappling contest, and that is what put everything together in my mind. I was like, oh, wrestling.
Oh my God.
That was a very long story for something completely not related, but
I'm just saying that even with the feud with Mark Summers, I still enjoyed it, and he was a very much important part of the documentary, and I was still charmed. So you will enjoy it as well.
Yes,
and please check out our merch and our Patreon.com/BrainCandy, and please tell a friend and subscribe. We appreciate it so much.
We really, really do. I love every single one of you.
Yes, we love our brainiacs. We're in this together. All of our nonsense and learning and silliness. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Did you know that everyone has an aura? Do you know what color your aura is? Maybe you have a fiery red personality or a quiet and calm blue or green. You could be an organized and methodical yellow or an explosive purple. Come join me, Mystic Michaela, on my podcast, Know Your Aura, to find out all about how your personality can be explained in colors.